Chosen one, listen carefully. I carry an urgent and sacred message today. This message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path of God, if your heart is not aligned with His truth, this message will not hold you. Only God's chosen ones will stay. Only true followers will feel the pull to continue. And if you are still here, understand this clearly. This message reached you at the exact moment heaven intended. Not early, not late. Perfect timing. There is an angel who desires connection with you, not out of curiosity, not by accident. An angel wants to walk with you, guide you, and stand beside you in quiet strength. And today, I will show you how that meeting happens, not in fantasy, but in divine order. Do not rush this message. Stay with me till the end, because what you will understand today will calm your spirit, strengthen your faith, and change how you see your walk with God forever. Before we continue, chosen ones, give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon, and share this message with other chosen ones so they can receive this divine alignment. And comment 777 in the comments to declare that you are open, aligned, and ready to walk in God's divine order. Now breathe, settle your mind, and listen closely. Section 2. Why angels seek the chosen. Chosen one, let me begin by settling your heart. Angels do not move randomly. Heaven does not operate on confusion. Nothing about God's kingdom is accidental. If angels seek certain people and not others, there is order behind it, purpose behind it, and peace within it. Angels seek the chosen because the chosen walk under assignment. You were not formed merely to survive this world. You were shaped to carry something eternal. Angels are servants of God, but they are also guardians of divine order. They move toward those whose lives are aligned with God's intention, not because those people are perfect, but because they are willing. Understand this clearly. Angels are not attracted to popularity, talent, wealth, or outward religion. They are drawn to obedience. They move toward sincerity. They recognize humility even when it is hidden behind weakness. Many people speak God's name, but few carry His burden. Angels know the difference. You see, chosen ones live with an inner tension, a quiet pull toward righteousness even when the world pulls the opposite way. You feel discomfort in places others feel comfortable. You sense heaviness where others feel pleasure. That sensitivity is not a flaw, it is spiritual awareness. And angels respond to awareness. Scripture shows us this pattern again and again. Angels appeared to those carrying divine responsibility, to those who said yes before they understood the cost, to those who were willing to obey without applause. Angels were sent not to impress them, but to strengthen them, to remind them that heaven was near when the task felt heavy. Angels do not seek entertainers, they seek carriers. They do not hover around noise, they stand beside purpose. And chosen ones carry purpose even when they do not yet understand it fully. Now listen carefully. Angels do not come because you ask loudly. They come because you listen deeply. They are drawn to hearts that are quiet enough to hear God's whisper. That is why many chosen ones feel misunderstood in this world. You are not built for constant noise. You are built for discernment. Let me say this gently but firmly. If you have felt isolated, it is not punishment. It is preparation. Angels operate in clarity, not chaos. They come close when the soul learns stillness. And many chosen ones are led through seasons of separation, so their inner world becomes ordered enough to host divine guidance. Angels are not fascinated by human strength. They respect surrender. They do not admire ego. They honor alignment. When a person says, "Not my will, but God's will," heaven responds. Not always with miracles you can see, but with presence you can feel. You must also understand that angels do not replace God. They serve God. And because chosen ones are entrusted with assignments that affect others, heaven assigns protection, guidance, and reinforcement. Not because you are special in pride, but because you are valuable in purpose. There is something else many people misunderstand. Angels are not distant from human emotion. They are not cold observers. They are deeply invested in God's plan unfolding correctly. When a chosen one struggles, angels do not mock. They watch, they wait, they assist when alignment is restored. That is why some of you have felt unexplainable protection in moments where logic failed. Situations that should have destroyed you somehow passed without consuming you. Doors that should have closed remained open. Accidents that should have happened did not. That was not luck. That was assignment protection. Angels seek the chosen because chosen ones walk narrow paths. And narrow paths require guidance, not force. Guidance. Angels do not drag you forward. They stand beside you, adjusting your direction when you drift too far from your calling. Let me bring peace to your mind here. Being sought by angels does not mean you are above others. It means you are responsible for something others are not yet ready to carry. And responsibility always comes with assistance from heaven. Angels also seek chosen ones because chosen ones are bridges between heaven and earth, between truth and confusion, between light and darkness. Angels operate where bridges exist. They move where God's will needs to cross into human reality. You may not feel holy every day. You may not feel strong every day, but your heart returns to God even after it wanders. That return matters. Angels notice repentance more than perfection. They respond to humility more than talent. I want you to release fear now. Angels are not watching you to judge you. They are assigned to help you finish what God started in you. They do not wait for you to become flawless. They walk with you as you become faithful. Chosen one, angels seek you because heaven already recognizes you. Long before you understood your identity, heaven marked you. Long before you questioned your worth, heaven assigned assistance. And long before you felt ready, heaven prepared companionship. This is not fantasy. This is divine structure. Angels seek the chosen because chosen ones carry missions that must not fail. And God, in His wisdom, never sends His servants alone. Now let your heart rest in this truth. You are not imagining the pull. You are not mistaken for sensing something near. Heaven responds to alignment, and you are more aligned than you think. Stay with me. Because now that you understand why angels seek the chosen, the next thing you must understand is how to recognize when one is already near you. Section 3. Signs an angel is already near you. Chosen one, I want you to relax your shoulders right now. Take a slow breath. What I am about to share is not meant to excite your imagination. It is meant to calm your spirit. Angels do not announce themselves with noise. They do not arrive with fear. Their presence is gentle, steady, and deeply familiar to the soul. One of the clearest signs an angel is already near you is an unexplainable sense of peace that comes during chaos. Situations around you may be unstable. People may be unpredictable. Yet inside you, there is a quiet steadiness. Not happiness, peace. The kind that does not depend on circumstances. That peace is not psychological. It is spiritual reinforcement. Angels bring calm because they operate under God's authority, and God is not the author of confusion. Another sign is protection that cannot be logically explained. Moments when something should have gone wrong but did not. Times when you narrowly avoided harm without knowing how. You may look back and say, something stopped that from happening. That something was not chance. Angels intervene subtly. They redirect. They delay. They create pauses that save lives and preserve destiny. Chosen ones often experience sudden clarity during prayer or quiet reflection, not loud answers, not dramatic visions, just knowing. A gentle understanding settles into your spirit and you realize what you must do or what you must release. Angels assist in clarity. They help align your thoughts with God's will, especially when your mind feels tired or overwhelmed. Pay attention to repeated inner nudges, not impulses driven by fear or desire, but calm instructions that return again and again. Do not go there. Wait. Speak now. Stay silent. These nudges are consistent, peaceful, and wise. Angels communicate through alignment, not urgency. If something pressures you, rushes you, or frightens you, that is not angelic guidance. Many chosen ones experience unusual sensitivity to environments. Certain places drain you, others restore you instantly. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is discernment. Angels heighten awareness so you remain where you are spiritually safe and productive. You begin to sense where God's presence is welcomed and where it is resisted. Dreams can also be a doorway, but listen carefully. Angelic dreams are not chaotic. They are simple, symbolic, and leave you with peace, not fear. You may wake up feeling instructed rather than entertained, guided rather than confused. Angels do not overload the mind. They speak in ways the soul understands. There is also a sign many people overlook: a growing discomfort with sin and disorder. Things that once felt normal no longer sit well with you. Conversations feel empty, habits feel heavy. This is not judgment, it is refinement. Angels support sanctification. They help chosen ones shed what does not align with their assignment. You may notice that help appears at the exact moment you need it. Not early, not late. Someone says the right words. A door opens unexpectedly. A burden lifts just enough for you to move forward. Angels coordinate timing. They operate within divine precision. Let me address something important now. Imagination is loud. Angelic presence is quiet. If you are forcing experiences, seeking signs obsessively, or craving supernatural validation, you will miss what is already happening. Angels do not perform for attention. They walk with those who trust God enough to stay grounded. Another sign is increased discernment about people. You see intentions more clearly. You sense when someone is sincere and when someone is masking truth. Angels assist chosen ones in protection not only from danger, but from deception. This discernment is calm, not suspicious. Clear, not paranoid. Chosen one, if you have felt watched over rather than watched, that matters. Angels do not make you feel observed. They make you feel supported. If your spirit feels accompanied rather than invaded, that is alignment. You may also experience a pull toward silence, toward prayer that is less about asking and more about resting in God's presence. Angels draw chosen ones into stillness because stillness is where instruction flows most clearly. Let me say this gently. If you have ever wondered why you survived things that should have broken you, why your heart did not harden when it had every reason to, why your faith returned even after doubt, you were not alone. Angels do not prevent all pain. They prevent destruction. Fear is not a sign of angelic presence. Peace is. Confusion is not a sign. Clarity is. Obsession is not a sign. Stability is. Angels come to strengthen, not to disturb. You do not need to see an angel to know one is near. Sight is the least important sense in the spiritual realm. Awareness is greater. Peace is greater. Alignment is greater. Chosen one, many of you have been asking, is something walking with me? The answer is not found in chasing signs. It is found in recognizing what has already been sustaining you. Stay with me. Because now that you know the signs of angelic presence, the next truth you must understand is why angels desire friendship, but never worship. Section 4. Why angels want friendship, not worship. Chosen one, this is where wisdom must steady your spirit. Many people stumble here because they confuse closeness with elevation. Angels never seek to be above you, and they never allow themselves to be placed where only God belongs. Understanding this truth will protect your faith and keep your path clear. Angels want friendship because friendship allows cooperation. Worship creates imbalance. Worship belongs to God alone. Angels know this. They live by this. And when humans misunderstand it, spiritual confusion follows. Heaven is built on order, not emotion. Friendship with an angel does not mean intimacy in the human sense. It means alignment of purpose. It means walking in agreement with God's will while receiving guidance, protection, and reinforcement along the way. Angels do not desire affection. They desire obedience to God's design. Scripture consistently shows angels redirecting worship away from themselves. When humans fall in awe, angels respond with correction, not pride. They say, "Stand up. Worship God." That response reveals their nature. Angels are not self-focused beings. They are assignment-focused servants. Chosen ones must understand this deeply. Angels will never compete for your attention. They will never demand devotion. They will never ask you to pray to them. If anything pulls your heart away from God, it is not angelic. Angels always point upward, never inward. Friendship allows angels to assist without interference. Worship disrupts alignment because it elevates the helper above the source. Angels operate best when God remains the center and the human remains grounded. This balance allows divine flow without confusion. Angels also understand human limitations. They know your mind can be overwhelmed. That is why they guide rather than overwhelm. Friendship creates trust. Trust allows guidance to be received without fear. Worship creates distance because it puts the human in awe rather than understanding. There is another important truth. Angels respect free will. They cannot force direction. They cannot override choice. Friendship honors free will. Worship removes responsibility. Angels will never take responsibility away from you. They assist you as you choose obedience. Many chosen ones carry deep sensitivity. If angels demanded worship, it would destabilize you. Heaven protects you from that. Friendship keeps you balanced, grounded, focused on God rather than experiences. Angels desire friendship because friendship creates consistency. They walk with you through ordinary moments, not just spiritual highs. They assist in decisions, not just miracles. They strengthen character, not just outcomes. Let me say this clearly. If an experience makes you feel superior, special in ego, or separate from others, it is not angelic. Angels humble. They remind you of responsibility, not greatness. They remind you of service, not status. Angels also understand suffering. They have watched humanity struggle across generations. They know the weight of calling. Friendship allows them to stand beside you without dominating your journey. Worship would place them in a position they never seek. Chosen one, you must also understand that angels rejoice when humans grow spiritually mature. Maturity does not cling. It cooperates. It listens. It discerns. Friendship allows angels to support your growth without becoming a distraction. There is safety in this design. God, in his wisdom, created angels to serve both him and his plans involving humanity. But he never created them to replace him or to be exalted by humans. That boundary protects your soul. If you ever feel drawn to an angelic presence, ask yourself one question. Does this draw me closer to God, or does it pull my focus elsewhere? Angels always pass the glory upward. Friendship with angels does not mean constant awareness. It means steady alignment. It means subtle guidance. It means quiet protection. It means support without spectacle. Chosen ones are often tempted to seek signs, visions, and experiences, but angels are most active when you are least distracted by them. They move behind the scenes, adjusting circumstances while you focus on obedience. Angels want friendship because friendship allows you to remain human while walking divinely guided. They do not want to be your focus. They want to help you keep God as your focus. This understanding will keep your faith clean. It will keep your spirit safe. It will keep your journey steady. Now stay with me, because the next thing you must understand is the spiritual condition required to meet an angel without fear, confusion, or imbalance. Section 5. The spiritual condition required to meet an angel. Chosen one, before anything sacred draws near, the soul must be settled. Angels do not approach chaos. They do not step into noise. They do not force their way into restless hearts. This is not punishment. This is protection. Heaven moves where order exists. Let me speak to you plainly now. You do not meet angels by chasing them. You meet them by becoming still enough to notice what God has already placed near you. Readiness is not excitement. Readiness is calm. The first condition is purity of intention, not purity of behavior, not perfection. Intention. Why do you desire this connection? Is it for closeness to God, or is it for feeling special? Heaven responds only to the first. Angels withdraw from pride instantly, even subtle pride that hides behind spiritual language. Many chosen ones struggle here because they confuse desire with desperation. Desperation creates pressure. Pressure creates noise. Angels do not operate under pressure. They operate under peace. When your heart says, "Lord, I trust you whether you show me anything or not," alignment begins. The second condition is inner silence. I am not talking about silence of the mouth. I am talking about silence of the inner dialogue. The constant questioning, the constant imagining, the constant need for confirmation. That noise blocks discernment. Angels communicate through stillness because stillness reflects trust. When you stop demanding signs, clarity increases. When you stop forcing understanding, wisdom arrives naturally. Many chosen ones are led into seasons where life slows down. Social circles shrink. Distractions fade. Nights become quieter. This is not loneliness. It is preparation. Heaven reduces noise so your inner world becomes clear enough to host guidance. The third condition is emotional regulation. Angels do not bond with emotional extremes, not because emotion is wrong, but because extremes distort perception. Fear exaggerates threats. Excitement exaggerates expectations. Angels meet those who are emotionally grounded. This is why chosen ones are often trained through hardship. Pain teaches restraint. Waiting teaches patience. Disappointment teaches discernment. These experiences mature the soul, and maturity creates stability. Do not misunderstand me. Angels do not require you to be numb. They require you to be steady. You can feel deeply and still remain grounded. That balance is essential. The fourth condition is obedience in small things. Many want divine encounters but resist daily discipline. Angels assist movement, not intention alone. If God asks you to forgive, to let go, to walk away, and you delay, alignment weakens. Angels do not guide rebellion. They guide surrender. When your life demonstrates obedience in private choices, heaven responds in subtle ways. Obedience sharpens spiritual perception. It clears internal resistance. Another essential condition is humility. And humility is not self-hate. Humility is accurate self-awareness, knowing your limits, knowing your dependence on God, knowing that guidance is help, not proof of worth. Angels are deeply uncomfortable around ego, even spiritual ego, the kind that says, "I am chosen, therefore I deserve." That mindset blocks access instantly. Chosen ones are not entitled, they are entrusted. Let me correct a misconception gently. Being chosen does not mean angels rush to you because you are rare. It means angels assist you because the assignment is heavy. Weight attracts reinforcement, not status. The next condition is alignment with truth. Angels do not dwell where compromise is defended. They do not linger where deception is justified. This does not mean you never fail. It means you never justify what God is correcting. Repentance is magnetic. Excuses are repellent. Angels respond to hearts that remain teachable, even when correction is uncomfortable. There is also the condition of patience. Angels operate on God's timing, not human urgency. When you rush outcomes, you cloud perception. When you wait with trust, you sharpen discernment. Many chosen ones delay their own encounters because they want control. Control and guidance cannot coexist. Angels guide when control is surrendered. Let me speak to your nervous system now. Some of you fear this closeness because you worry you are not worthy. That fear is not from God. Worthiness is not the requirement. Willingness is. Angels do not scan your past looking for reasons to reject you. They observe your present posture. Are you open? Are you surrendered? Are you grounded? That is enough. Another condition is consistency in prayer. Not dramatic prayer, honest prayer. Prayer that listens as much as it speaks. Prayer that rests rather than demands. Angels assist those who pray to align, not to control outcomes. If your prayer always ends with, "Your will be done," heaven listens closely. Chosen one, angels also require mental sobriety. This means clarity of thought. Avoid obsession. Avoid fantasy. Avoid chasing experiences. Angels move in reality, not imagination. If you feel pressure to see something, hear something, or prove something, pause. Pressure is not a sign of readiness. Peace is. You must also release fear of the unknown. Fear closes the inner senses. Angels do not announce themselves because fear distorts interpretation. They draw near when the heart is calm enough to receive without panic. Let me reassure you. Meeting an angel does not mean seeing a figure or hearing a voice. It means alignment becomes undeniable. Guidance becomes clear. Protection becomes noticeable. Presence becomes familiar. Angels meet the chosen when the chosen becomes safe vessels. Safe for guidance. Safe for truth. Safe for responsibility. This safety is built slowly. Through surrender. Through humility. Through obedience. Through stillness. You do not prepare for angels by learning rituals. You prepare by becoming trustworthy with direction. Heaven gives guidance to those who will use it wisely. Chosen one, if you feel called to slow down, simplify, forgive, release, obey, or wait, that is preparation. Do not resist it. Readiness often feels like reduction, not addition. Now stay with me. Because once these conditions are understood, the next truth will bring clarity to how angels actually communicate with the chosen without fear, confusion, or imagination. Section 6. How angels communicate with the chosen. Chosen one, this is where many lose balance, not because angels are confusing, but because humans expect communication to look dramatic. Heaven does not shout. Heaven aligns. And angels, being servants of divine order, communicate in ways that protect your mind, your faith, and your stability. Let me be clear from the beginning. Angels do not compete with your thoughts. They do not interrupt your free will. They do not hijack your mind. Their communication feels natural, calm, and quietly authoritative. It settles rather than excites. It clarifies rather than overwhelms. One of the primary ways angels communicate is through inner alignment. You suddenly know what to do without panic. There is no argument inside you, no debate, just a steady certainty. That certainty is not emotional. It is grounded. It does not rush you. It does not pressure you. It waits patiently until you act. Angels often communicate by removing confusion. You may notice that options that once felt equally possible suddenly feel clearly different. One feels heavy, the other feels light. One creates peace, the other creates resistance. Angels do not force decisions. They illuminate consequences. Another way angels communicate is through timing. Doors open at precise moments. Delays happen that later reveal protection. You may feel frustrated in the moment, but clarity comes afterward. Angels manage timing because timing protects destiny. What arrives too early can harm you. What arrives too late can discourage you. Angels work between those two dangers. Chosen ones also receive communication through strengthened discernment. You hear words, but you understand intention. Someone speaks kindly, but your spirit senses misalignment. Another speaks imperfectly, yet your spirit feels truth. Angels sharpen this inner perception so you are not deceived by appearances. Let me address the inner voice now. Angelic guidance does not sound foreign. It does not feel invasive. It feels like wisdom rising from a deeper place than your emotions. It is calm. It is steady. It never contradicts God's character. If a thought produces fear, panic, urgency, or obsession, it is not angelic. Angels do not create anxiety. They do not push. They do not threaten. Their guidance is firm but peaceful. You must also understand that angels communicate repeatedly, not randomly. Guidance returns gently until it is acknowledged. It does not disappear if ignored once. It remains consistent, patient, and clear. Another important channel of communication is peace after obedience. When you follow a nudge that aligns with God's principles, peace follows even if circumstances are challenging. That peace is confirmation. Angels affirm alignment through inner rest, not external applause. Some chosen ones expect angels to speak audibly. That is rare and unnecessary. Audible experiences are reserved for extreme circumstances. Most guidance comes quietly because quiet guidance strengthens faith rather than dependence. Angels also communicate by limiting options. You may feel certain paths close without explanation, not dramatically, just naturally. This narrowing is not loss, it is focus. Angels remove distractions so you do not waste strength. Let me say something important now. Angels do not answer curiosity. They respond to obedience. If you seek information without intention to act, communication weakens. When your heart says, "I am willing to follow," clarity increases. Dreams can also carry guidance, but only when the mind is rested and the heart is surrendered. Angelic dreams are not complex. They are symbolic, gentle, and directional. They do not leave you confused, they leave you oriented. Chosen ones often report waking up with understanding rather than images. That is angelic assistance. The message settles into the soul rather than the memory. Another way angels communicate is through restraint. You feel prevented from speaking, from reacting, from acting impulsively. That restraint saves you from regret. Angels protect destiny by slowing reaction. Let me speak to your fear now. Many worry about deception. That fear is understandable, but here is the truth. Angels aligned with God will never contradict Scripture, never inflate ego, and never isolate you from accountability. If guidance leads you toward humility, patience, forgiveness, and obedience, it is safe. If it leads you toward pride, secrecy, superiority, or separation, it is not. Angels also communicate by increasing sensitivity to God's presence. Prayer becomes quieter but deeper. Words matter less. Awareness matters more. This is not spiritual dryness. It is maturity. Some of you are learning to listen rather than speak in prayer. That shift is angelic alignment. Guidance flows more easily when the soul listens. Let me correct another misunderstanding. Silence does not mean absence. Often angels are most active when you feel least stimulated. They operate beneath emotion, not on top of it. If you constantly seek signs, you will miss guidance. Angels guide those who trust enough to walk without constant reassurance. Angels also communicate through strengthening resolve. You find courage to do what you once avoided. Not reckless courage, quiet courage. The kind that does not need explanation. Chosen one, if you feel steadier lately, clearer, less reactive, more discerning, that is not coincidence. That is assistance. Angels do not announce their presence because faith grows through trust, not spectacle. Their goal is not to be noticed. Their goal is for God's will to be accomplished in you. You do not need to ask angels to speak. You need to maintain alignment so communication flows naturally. Clean motives. Quiet mind, obedient heart. If you feel guided without being pressured, protected without being restricted, corrected without being condemned, that is angelic communication. Stay calm in this understanding. There is no rush, no deadline, no test to pass. Angels communicate as you are ready to receive. Now, stay with me, because the next truth will show you what begins to change in your life once you accept angelic friendship with maturity and balance. Section 7. What happens after you accept angelic friendship? Chosen one, this is where peace deepens. Not excitement, not spectacle. Peace. When angelic friendship is accepted correctly, life does not suddenly become dramatic. It becomes ordered, and order is one of the clearest signs of heaven at work. The first thing that changes is not your circumstances, it is your inner stability. You become less reactive. Situations that once shook you no longer control you. This does not mean you stop feeling, it means your feelings stop leading. Angels help stabilize the inner world so the outer world no longer dominates your decisions. You may notice that fear loses its authority. Fear may still appear, but it does not command you. It no longer dictates your choices. Angelic assistance strengthens courage quietly. You find yourself doing what needs to be done without overthinking it. Another change is clarity and direction. Confusion begins to lift, not all at once, but steadily. You stop questioning every step. You sense when to move and when to wait. This discernment saves energy. It keeps you from unnecessary detours. Chosen ones often report increased protection after accepting angelic companionship properly. Not dramatic rescue scenes, but prevention. Problems dissolve before they form. Conflicts lose momentum. You avoid situations that would have drained you. Angels protect by redirecting, not by announcing. Your prayer life also changes. You speak less and listen more. Prayer becomes calmer, more trusting, less transactional. You stop begging and start aligning, and alignment brings rest. You may notice your tolerance for disorder decreases. Chaos feels heavier. Noise feels unnecessary. This is not judgment. It is refinement. Angels assist in sanctification. They help remove what disrupts peace. Another subtle change is strengthened patience. You stop rushing outcomes. You trust timing more deeply. Waiting no longer feels like punishment. It feels purposeful. Angels help you understand that delay is often protection. Chosen one, your relationships may shift. Some people will drift away. Others will deepen. This is not loss. It is alignment. Angels help filter connections so your energy is not scattered. Your sense of responsibility also increases. Angelic friendship is not comfort without cost. You become more accountable to truth. You feel convicted quicker, not condemned. Convicted. Correction becomes gentle but firm. You may find yourself choosing integrity even when it is inconvenient. This is not pressure. It is clarity. Angels reinforce conscience. Let me speak to your identity now. Angelic friendship does not inflate ego. It humbles you. You become more aware of your dependence on God, less interested in proving yourself, more focused on faithfulness. You also develop resilience. Trials still come, but they do not consume you. You recover faster. You learn quicker. You remain hopeful even when outcomes are uncertain. Another change is emotional regulation. High highs and low lows soften. You become steadier. This emotional balance is not dullness, it is maturity. Angels assist emotional alignment so perception remains clear. Chosen ones often notice increased discernment about opportunity. You sense which doors are aligned and which are distractions. You stop chasing everything. Focus sharpens. Let me correct something now. Angelic friendship does not guarantee ease, it guarantees guidance. You may still walk through difficulty, but you will not walk blindly. Angels do not remove responsibility, they strengthen capacity. You carry more without breaking. Your sense of purpose deepens. You may not know every detail of your assignment, but you feel anchored to something meaningful. This reduces anxiety, meaning stabilizes the soul. You may also notice increased compassion, not emotional exhaustion, but understanding. You see others differently, with patience rather than frustration. Angels help chosen ones remain gentle without becoming weak. One important change is reduced attachment to validation. Praise matters less. Criticism stings less. You become internally referenced rather than externally driven. Chosen one, if you accept angelic friendship properly, your life becomes quieter but stronger. Less dramatic but more directed. Less reactive but more effective. Let me say this carefully. If your life becomes chaotic, obsessive, or inflated after seeking angelic connection, something is misaligned. True angelic companionship stabilizes. It does not destabilize. Angels reinforce what God is already building in you. They do not replace effort. They do not bypass growth. They assist it. Your trust in God deepens, not because everything works out, but because you feel supported even when it does not. There is also a growing sense of being accompanied, not watched, not controlled, accompanied. This companionship brings reassurance without dependence. You stop feeling alone in your obedience. You feel supported in your surrender. Chosen one, angelic friendship does not make you special above others. It makes you responsible for walking carefully, humbly, and faithfully. You become more aware that your choices matter, that your obedience affects others, that your alignment contributes to something larger than yourself. This awareness is sobering, but it is also empowering. If you feel calmer lately, more grounded, more discerning, less frantic, more trusting. That is fruit. That is evidence of correct alignment. Do not rush this process. Do not compare experiences. Angelic friendship unfolds uniquely, according to your calling and capacity. Remain humble, remain obedient, remain grounded. Now stay with me, because it is time to seal this message, bring peace to your heart, and anchor everything you have heard into clarity and reassurance. Section 8. The final alignment. Conclusion. Chosen one, let your spirit rest here for a moment. Nothing you have heard today was meant to rush you, pressure you, or elevate you above others. This message was meant to steady you, to remind you that you are not alone on this path, and you never have been. If this message reached you, it reached you at the right time, not because you searched for it, but because alignment found you. Angels do not chase attention. They walk with obedience, and God does not abandon those He calls. He surrounds them. You are not required to see anything. You are not required to prove anything. Your task is simple, but not easy. Stay faithful, stay humble, stay obedient. Heaven handles the rest. Remember this clearly. Angels walk with those who walk with God. Not perfectly, honestly, willingly, quietly. And when you move in alignment, help moves toward you without noise. If your heart feels calmer now, that matters. If your mind feels clearer, that matters. If your spirit feels supported rather than overwhelmed, that matters. Those are signs of truth settling, not imagination rising. Do not rush to explain this experience to others. Let it mature within you. Let peace deepen. Let obedience sharpen. Let stillness guide you. Before we close, chosen ones, give a like to this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon and share this message with other chosen ones so they can receive this alignment as well. And comment 777 in the comments to declare that you are walking in obedience, grounded in faith, and open to God's divine guidance. Walk gently, walk wisely, walk with God. You are not alone.